Said nothing. I didn't make an opinion on it. That was a statement made by a very talented lawyer on Fox. And so you shouldn't be talking to me. You should be talking to Fox. Okay?
You should be talking to Fox, not me, the president. The president shifting blame, saying that that information about alleged British involvement in so-called wiretapping at Trump Tower came from a Fox News contributor. The Brits calling that baseless assertion utterly ridiculous, but it brings up a bigger question. Is the cable network actually shaping the Trump presidency? CNN senior media correspondent and host of Reliable Sources, Brian Stelter, is here, and he calls Trump a Fox News president. He joins us along with CNN media analyst Bill Carter to discuss. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Brian, great show yesterday, digging into all of this. Make the case that this is the Fox News president. Aside from that claim, there's a lot more there.
Yeah, we've thought about him as a cable news president. That's definitely true. Consuming CNN and MSNBC and Fox all the time. Also a social media president. Trump up early this morning tweeting. But I think something more specific is what we're seeing now, a Fox News president. Because of the exchange about Napolitano and because of all of the other ways Fox influences this White House, hiring Fox staffers, tweeting about Fox all the time, consuming information from Fox and then sharing it with the public, sometimes misleading information. There's this feedback loop that's very specific between Trump and Fox. He's also given 5 of his 7 sit-down TV interviews to Fox since taking office.
It is important to know some of the journalists, though, at Fox have pushed back against this, like Shep Smith on Friday.
That's right. Shepard Smith, Brett Baier at Fox on Friday said, listen, we know Judge Napolitano said this on the air. We don't have any proof. We don't have any evidence to back it up. There's some big questions still for Fox about why was Napolitano on TV acting like a reporter saying this stuff? Why did he say he had Fox News sources confirming it when, in fact, the news division did not have sources confirming it? It seems to be a completely false allegation, but it was repeated several times on Fox. So Napolitano might be in some hot water over there. Fox is trying to get this to go away, but it's one of many examples of the president and his aides being influenced by Fox.
Well, look, just so that everybody confirms the obvious, when you base an opinion on a source, that communicates acceptance of that source.
Of course.
You don't get to say, I believe this, and, you know, Poppy Harlow said it, and then when people say, yeah, Poppy was wrong, well, hey, I mean, she said it. You believe it if you want to. That's not the way truth-telling works, and I'm sure the president knows it, and every once in a while he gets caught on it. Now, we're seeing another instance of the president designing his own fate right now, in real time, on Twitter. Wow. He's been tweeting this morning. He's obviously agitated about these questions about Russia. There's been 2. First, he said that Clapper and others stated there's no evidence that POTUS concluded with Russia. I don't remember the president himself being the focus of any speculation. It's been about contacts with his staff.
Right.
For some reason, Trump just put himself in the mix. Now, his latest tweet, the Democrats made up and pushed the Russian story as an excuse for running a terrible campaign. Big advantage in Electoral College and lost. Fairness to the president, he finally got that last point right.
Right.
You know, he usually says he blew it out in the Electoral College. He didn't. It was one of the slimmest margins that we've had. But he is right. The Democrats did have a big advantage. But obviously, he's trying to make the case for himself. Is he making yet another mistake?
Well, yeah, because, I mean, again, he's relying on things that, look, the Democratic defense with Russia started before the election. People talked about that campaign being influenced by the Russians before there was any vote. They didn't make it up. And since then, we've had all of these intelligence organizations coming out and saying the Russians hacked the election. It's not the Democrats doing it. It's the actual people who work for him. They're not coming back and saying, oh, no, the Democrats made it up. So he's again relying on sort of this, it's not, you know, let me blame somebody else for something.
And setting himself up for failure, Brian. That's the thing. Look, there is a very good chance that James Comey could come out today and say what we have heard. Are there contacts that deserve review and investigation between staff members and Russian authorities or players? Yes. Do we have proof that there was collusion in the hacking? No, not at this point. He could say that. But now the president just upped the ante in a way that he increased his chances that he gets a loss. Because Jim Comey could very easily say, it's not about the Democrats, it's about what we're looking at, and now he's exposed once again.
But I think he's presenting a counter-narrative. With these tweets right at the beginning of the day, he's giving a counter-narrative to what we're about to see on cable news all day long.
Yes, he wants the wiggle room before it starts. He wants to be able to say, see, I told you this, you know, so if you hear this today, don't believe it. It's actually the Democrats. He's always trying to set up that his own defense before it
But
happens.
not tweeting about what could be a win for him in the first big win of his administration, Neil Gorsuch. He could have tweeted something sort of pretty bland and just,
He
you know.
could have said, "We're getting
looking
health care
forward
in
to the
order." He
confirmation,
could have said a lot of things.
Which he
Right.
said over the weekend. Things are progressing well on health care. He could have said that.